My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me.
It's a new day because Yah has created it for His purpose. Shalom, family. Welcome to Shepherd and Sheep.
Pray the power of God all over you. I pray His favor. I pray the blood of Jesus will come upon you right now. Keep you in His care. God, I thank you for your blessings.
In Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6, Yah tells us, "My people have perished for lack of knowledge."
So we get hypertensive disease, 36%, ischemic heart disease, 69%, pulmonary heart disease, 62%, heart failure, 973%, other forms of heart disease, 63%, cardiomyopathy, 152%.
We have Seed of Yisrael to touch on this subject with us today.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom, brother.
To my brothers and sisters scattered to the four corners.
You know, we always appreciate your insight, so get us right into it.
Now, every time we hear the term, "my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge," how often do we think about this verse? How often do we think about what it truly means? When most people hear this, they think that it means lack of knowledge of book smarts, lack of knowledge of education, what have you. But not too many times have our people delved deeply into this to see what this lack of knowledge really means and what it's referring to. So we're going to go there. We're going to see what this lack of knowledge that we so often get reminded of.
I agree with you, Danielle. So take us to the scriptures to show us what this really means.
The book of Hosea, Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6. It says, "My people are destroyed for lack of the knowledge." Now get this, because you have rejected the knowledge. Now we see knowledge. Which knowledge is this talking about? And it goes on to say, "I will also reject you, that you shall be no priest to me, seeing you have forgotten." Seeing you have forgotten the Torah of your Elohim, I will also forget your children. I just kind of wanted to dive a little deeper into this because I really have not heard people explain it in such a way. This knowledge, Israel, is the rejection of the Torah, the laws, commandments, and statutes.
Well, people may say, why is this so important? Why is it necessary for us to be hearing this?
All right. You got to understand a couple of things, Israel. For one, the reason why we're in this situation, we're in this captivity that we're in, is because we have rejected our forefathers. We are our forefathers, Israel, whether you want to believe it or not. Our genetic makeup goes back, way back. All right. So everything that our forefathers have done, whether it be good or bad, reflects to this present day. Got to understand that. Cause and effect. Cause and effect. So yes, we were left without anything because of the wickedness of our forefathers.
Well, the question remains, how do we, as a people in this current day, make this right? How do we get back to what our forefathers failed to keep?
The covenant was only given to Israel. You're not going to find anywhere in the scriptures where the covenant was given to the heathen nations. You're not going to find that. There's only 12 gates. There's only 12 tribes.
Some may ask, what about the rest of them that don't fit within Israel?
Oh, they're going to have their place, all right. Just like the scripture says. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Yasharel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Yisrael. And the people shall take them and bring them to their places, and the house of Yasharel shall possess them. Possess, what does possess mean? It means ownership. It means that you have complete authority. Shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were.
All right, break this down for us.
That means that he that leadeth into captivity will go into captivity. And they shall rule over their oppressors. Rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall give you rest from your sorrows, and from your fears, and from the hard bondage wherein you were made to serve.
Now, some may argue that this prophecy has already taken place.
But it has not. It has not taken place. This is way in the near future, Israel. So when we look at the place, our condition, our current condition right now, you know that we've been in captivity for a little over 1,200 years. You may say, well, wait a minute, brother. Where you getting 1,200 years? We practically been here for 400 years. When our people were kicked out or ran out of Jerusalem, or they fled out of Jerusalem in 70 AD, well, where do you think they went? They went to an area within West Africa, which was known as Negro land. They even had colonizers write books about this, Israel. You can look this stuff up. How they were still practicing the Messianic laws of the Most High. How they were different from all the rest of the people and the rest of the Hamites. Their cultural, their agriculture, their architect was far advanced than anything they've ever seen. So our people were dwelling in that region till something happened. See, most of our people forget about this special, unique slave trade that began in the mid 7th century. That was sometime around the mid 600s, Israel. This slave trade would be called the Sub-Saharan slave trade, better known as the Arab slave trade. Israel, I want you to hear me out. This would mark the beginning. You hear me? This would mark the beginning of the prophecy, where the Most High said that we would be spread to the four corners of the earth. Prior to this, Israel, we were not spread to the four corners of the earth. And here are some of the routes that were involved with the Sub-Saharan slave trade. Yes, we were spread out to these regions, all the way to India, China. Guess who built the Great Wall of China? See, that's the problem, Israel. The heathens hide the facts, but we don't dig, because everything is documented. But we don't bother to even dig closely and deeper into this rabbit hole. All right, our people didn't just come on the shores and start slavery in 1609, Israel. That's a bunch of baloney. Our people were enslaved in the mid 600s, which began the Arab slave trade and marked the beginning of our people being spread to the four corners of the earth. And then you know what came after that? The transatlantic slave trade came right off the back of the Arab slave trade. And you already know those routes. It's simple math, Israel. If you calculate somewhere around 650 when the Sub-Saharan trade supposedly began until roughly 1856, somewhere around there, when supposedly Lincoln, you know when I say supposedly, claimed to free the slaves, but we wasn't free, Israel, because we were not given money, we were not given land, we were not given our rights. All right, so that's a whole another issue. But if you do the math, you got somewhere a little bit over 1,200 years of captivity, Israel. That is insane. That is insane. So I say all of this, and I just wanted to show you all of that, just to kind of just bring your mind to like, why in the world are we having to go through this much captivity? Well, you know, before we got ran out of Israel, all right, we were being wicked. That's why Ha Mashiah had to come on the scene, and it was our people, the one who threw them to the wolves. All right. So Israel is just exciting because that sub-Saharan marked the beginning of prophecy, of what the Most High said in His Word, that we would be scattered to the four corners, because prior to that, we were not scattered to the four corners. So that just tells you how true and awesome the Word is. All right. Israel, when I say that we have paid for our forefathers' wickedness, there is nothing that comes short of profound when I say that. We have definitely suffered for the sake of our wicked forefathers and paid a heavy price. But here's some encouraging news, Israel. Even though we are as backwards as the backwoods right now with our people, there is a group, a small group of people, and the Most High said that it would be a small group of people that would turn back to His laws, commandments, and statutes. Now, it would be nice. It would be hella nice if all our people, just imagine what, United States, roughly 40 million, and then that's not to include our brothers and sisters scattered to the four corners, as I explained to you earlier. Just imagine if 30% of us across the four corners just started keeping the commandments. Imagine the power. See, Israel, one thing I've learned over the years is that you cannot deny the power of the Most High. He is the creator, and He created us. He made a covenant with us, and He promised us that that covenant would never be broken, even though we broke the covenant, and we still continue to break the covenant with the Almighty.
Give us some scriptures, brother.
Hebrews chapter 8 and verses 8 through 10. For finding fault with them, He says, behold, the days come, says Yahweh, when I will make a renewed covenant. Now that translation is correct. It's renewed, not new, because it's not a new covenant. It's a renewed covenant. The only difference is the generation, and I'm going to show you here in a minute. I will make a renewed covenant with the house of Yasharel and with the house of Yehuda. Get this, verse 9. This is the key. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Mizraim, because they continue not in my covenant. They continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, says Yahweh. These are our forefathers. So this is not the same covenant that He made with our forefathers, because they broke the covenant. Verse 10, it says, for this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Yasharel after those days. It's talking about our generation right now, this current day and past. It says, for this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Yasharel for those days, saith Yahweh. I will put my Torah into their minds and write in their hearts. I write it in their hearts, and will be their Elohim, and they shall be to me as a people. Now, this is coming from the Sefer, but if you read in the regular Bible, it says, I will make a covenant, new covenant with the house of Israel, all right, and the house of Judah. Those are the southern and the northern tribes of Israel. You're not going to find anywhere in there where He made a covenant with some heathens or other heathen nations. It's always been Israel and will always be Israel. Again, there's only 12 gates. Israel, what if I told you that America has already fallen? Would you believe me? Or would you just go back to continuing trying to live this so-called American dream? You know, our people, what's so sad is that so many of our people love being bathed in the stench of Christianity, which has deceived our people to the point of almost no return. All right, but we know that the Spirit is working. Look around you, Israel. This place has already fallen. If you're looking for some American dream, if you're looking to set up your kingdom on this place, it's just going to be destroyed. All right. I'm not saying you can't live, but you got to think, Israel. Look what's going on around us. Everything that's happening is happening because of the covenant that he has made with the house of Judah and with the house of Israel. Now, I'm going to share something with you. If you notice, all right, and I guarantee you every so-called black person in America has heard of this awakening, whether they rejected it or accepted it. But I guarantee you every single so-called black person in the United States of America has heard of the Hebrew Israelites or whatever it's termed. All right. I guarantee you, Israel. See, this is the way the Spirit is working. And I'm seeing this. Now, we're just scratching the surface. We're not even talking about the rest of our brothers and sisters scattered to the four corners and all these other different regions of the earth. Think about it, Israel. Do you think that this is coincidence? Do you think that this is just some fly by night kind of awakening? No, Israel, we are being restored back to the covenant like the Most High promised. But we got to get off our wicked butts. And we have to make this right, Israel. If we don't make this right, many of our people are going to be destroyed, which they are going to be destroyed. But for those who have a listening heart and open eyes, it's time to act, Israel. It's time to get those fringes on. It's time to keep these feast days. It's time to get in those scriptures. It's time to let our heritage shine like never before. It's time for the foolishness to stop, Israel. All the Pookies and the Ray-Rays got to go. All the harlots got to go, Israel. Point blank. You can't have that. It's messing up our people. And the Most High is not playing, Israel. He's getting ready to do some damage like we've never seen before.
Where is this damage going to begin?
It says in Peter that judgment will begin at the house of Israel, Yasharel. You know why, Israel? Because we are the Most High's chosen people. Who do you think he's going to chastise? The heathens are done. The other nations are finished. It is us, Israel, as a people. The Negroes, I'll repeat that again, the Negroes scattered to the four corners of this flat earth are the Most High's chosen people. And these other nations are starting to rage and they're becoming mad as hell, Israel. You know why? Because the truth is starting to come out. There's only so much time that these Khazars can continue to cry out anti-Semitism. That stuff is played out, Israel. It's going to be played out like an old bag. So guess what? It's time to get serious, Israel. It's time to get back to these laws, commandments, and statutes, because what I'm realizing is that the more we get back to these laws, commandments, and statutes, the more destruction I'm beginning to see upon the heathen nations. And I'm going to tell you, they're going to do everything in their power to keep us from keeping the laws, Israel. They're doing that right now. What do you think they're doing? Why do you think they're flooding everything with immigrants and everything? Because they are trying to replace Israel. But I don't think they got the memo. They cannot replace Israel. Never replace Israel.
Well, Daniel, for the most part, they wiped out the Native Americans.
Yeah, they can wipe out the Native Americans. They can wipe out all of them, but they cannot wipe out Israel. Even though the Native Americans were dark-skinned people, were black people. But they cannot wipe out Israel. I don't know if y'all realizing that. I don't know if y'all realize that or not. No one can replace Israel.
So this lack of knowledge has a lot to do with us not knowing who we are and not knowing that we are still to keep the commandments that the Most High gave to his sheep. Because of this, the Bible tells us in Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 8 that 2/3 of the people in the land will be cut off and die.
So with that being said, Israel, the third of us that remain, the Most High is going to take us through the fire. That's right. The third of us that remains, he is going to take us through the fire. So put on your seatbelts because it's getting ready to be a rough ride.
Brother, you and Kingdom Preppers have been here week after week, making things plain for us to see as we walk on this journey. You know, we look forward to you walking with us again very soon. Again, I must say that Hosea chapter 4 verse 6, Yah tells us, my people have perished for lack of knowledge. So we must be ready to be purified. Brother, can you close with this purification that will take place?
We are going to be purified in these last days. And the only way that we're going to be purified is we're going to have to go through some fiery trials, brothers and sisters. And like I said before, there's no way around it.
Toda Rava, brother, seed of Yisrael. We pray that Yah's grace and mercy will walk before you and keep you in the path of righteousness. But for now we say, Shalom.
And until next time, I say Shalom and stay strong.
And to all those who made it here today, we stress the point of coming out of religion and begin to hear and obey the voice of ABBA YAH, our Chief Shepherd. We must make a daily habit of reading the scriptures, meditating on it, and spending one-on-one time with the Most High Yah. The next time we think some man-made beliefs will get us into the kingdom, just remember, Yah says,
Blessed rather are those who hear the word of Elohim and obey it.
Shalom, and stay strong.